giving Scar a new home. So let's go. As you can see, my Sunlit Plateau is very big. I only placed Scar's home where I wanted him to be. So Scar is going to be my main focal point when you enter my Sunlit Plateau. Now I'm just going to go through my furniture and see which items I'm going to place. I kind of want to leave Scar's home a little natural with the trees and the rocks and all of those things. I don't want to put too many items, but I also want it to look like it is covered in greenery. I love those bamboo trees. They are such a good way to separate your valleys from each other if you don't want anything in the background, and it's good for dream snaps. I am a new channel. I am starting this now. I am also preparing to get ready for the Tiana update. I haven't been playing Dreamlight Valley since it first dropped, and I love this game. It is so magical. So, with that being said, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. I am using the border dirt path. I love the way that this is blending in. It gives it more depth and it gives it more of a natural feel. As you can see, I'm just adding a few thorns to give Scar that menacing look at his home. I'm going to place down some bracken. Lots and lots of shrubbery, lots of greenery to give it that natural feel. I want the overgrown feel for Scar's home. I love the shrubbery and the greenery that is in the Sunlit Plateau. There's so many different varieties, and if you just keep clicking onto it, they all change into different sizes and different shapes and different colors. I wanted a variety of different greenery and different objects, so it would give it a more natural feel of that overgrown look. As the build progresses, you will see that I will start to extend out my pathing so you can reach the other side of the plateau as well. For a future build on that side, I'm going to place Nala and Simba on that side of the Sunlit Plateau. Stay tuned for that video. In this new update, we've gotten a lot of glitches with the pathing. You see, I was having trouble getting my pathing the way I wanted it, but it finally came together. Now I'm just going through my furniture items and I'm pulling out some of my Lion King items. I'm going to place down as decoration to give his path a little more depth when you enter it. I love those leafy rugs. They're so pretty. And it adds a little more natural state to the build. I'm going to place down the stoves that we were given in Scar's little tin item, and I'm going to use those as some of the lighting to lead your way up to his front door. I wanted this build to be menacing and scary like Scar is, but also beautiful at the same time. I'm going to place the watering hole down beside on the right side of Scar's home. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to add more trees into the front of his house. I'm going to use a different variation of trees. I was gonna play with this thing from the DLC from the Eternity Isle, but it really didn't fit my build style. As you can see, I decided to use the less dragon trees. I love the way these trees look, and they're so textured when you get an up-close look at them. I'm placing the taller trees in the front and the smaller trees in the back to give it a pathing to zoom in on Scar's house. I was looking for bigger trees to bring in some more height to the build, and I settled on the mossy trees. Those are so pretty, and they give a darker element to the green, bringing everything together. As you can see, I left some of the spawns of the bones. I wanted this area to represent Scar to the fullest, and we all know Scar likes his bones. Now I'm just pulling my pathing out further, bringing the whole plateau a little bit more together as I extend out to decorate more for Scar. In this area, I was going to just fill it all in with pathing, but something told me to build a centerpiece here. So as I fill in more pathing, you will see my centerpiece come to life. going to use the green bamboo fence. To give a little more life to the build. It's going to show you which pathway to take to lead you to Scar's house, as well as border in the build as well. I love the ancient machines that we got from the DLC. They help so much when you're decorating. You don't have to go through and pick every item up by hand. You can just go up to your little vacuum and it'll suck everything right up off the ground for you. I use them in every one of my builds. As you can see, I'm just laying foundation for my centerpiece. I'm adding in various different trees. When I think of the Sunlit Plateau, I think of overgrown, lots of greenery, lots of shrubbery, a natural feel to the Sunlit Plateau. I also get a Lion King-esque vibe from the Sunlit Plateau, so I'm trying to incorporate what I see as Lion King in my head into my build. Now I'm just placing down some of the Sunlit Plateau bushes. I'm bringing in the light orange to give it more color, to set off some of the green. Now I'm placing down the darker orangey red to bring in a little bit more color. And now I'm using the flower bushes from the Sunlit Plateau to give it a little more of a pretty-esque vibe, a little bit more flowery feel to the build. I'm also trying to place my bushes around the path and leave enough space for you to walk through and get a good vibe of the centerpiece. Filling in any holes that I can get with the reddish orange smaller bushes. And now I'm going to place down some of the Sunlit Plateau ferns. I'm going to also place down some of the Glade of Trust ferns just to offset the orange with a little more green into the build. I'm going to start placing down some of the fan leaf plants to add more of the overgrown look into the build. I'm going to let you enjoy the builds, and when we're done, I'll come right back. Just filling in any empty spots with a little tropical plants to make sure that the centerpiece looks full. I'm going to add some tropical plants on the side of Scar's house and empty areas just to give it a little bit more of the overgrown look. Bringing in some more of the fan-leaved plants. few more of those tropical green plants. Now I'm just going through and I'm changing a little bit of my fencing to see exactly how far I want it to lead up to Scar's house. And adding more fencing on the other side, leading across to the bridge. I decided to pull the fencing back just a little bit. That way you can still enter different areas of the valley in case you need to do a little cleanup. Now I'm placing down the wildebeest bones just to show that Scar has been having him quite a few meals up here in the Sunlit Plateau. I'm going to add a few of the rocks leading up to Scar's house just to give the build a little more overgrown, natural, pagan look. Adding a few ferns leading up to Scar's house. Now here I was looking for a lighting to put more lights into the path, but I didn't see anything that I liked, so I'll come back and add those later. On the left side of Scar's, I'm going to add a few of the big rock foundations to give the build a little more of the natural, overrun look. On this side of the build, I was thinking of having like a open water source, kind of like a pond. So I decided to place down these custom rugs that I made to build a pond on the side of Scar's house. As you can see, it took a little bit of finessing, but I finally got everything placed the way that I wanted it. And I love these rugs because certain items do go on top of these rugs. So it's great for builds like this. But the only downfall is you can't use custom items in Dream Snap, so you may have to remove the items once you get ready to take a Dream Snap. And they have implemented a turn off and turn on items for your Dream Snap if it's a custom item. Now I'm just putting a little pavement around those rugs so you won't see that they're actually a rug. It hides the borders and it brings the build a little more together. Now I'm just going to start adding a few bushes, a few brocks, a few of the trees, a few of the butterfly plants, a few of the peaceful meadow rock formations just to bring the pond together. A few ferns. Now I'm placing each item is somewhat as far apart as possible. I didn't want it to look too cluttered, having multiple of the same item in the same area. It would be so wonderful if we could place down those lily pads on top of this. It would give it such a majestic fit. Now I'm just placing down some of the pebbled stones, trying to cover up the borders of that rug so it doesn't look like it's so symmetrical. Now I'm just placing a few of the rock clusters down. And then I'm going to place down a few of the Sunlit Plateau rock formations just to give the edge of that build a little more covered so you can't see the edges of the rugs. Now I'm going to place a few trees over by this build. This is one of the few trees that you can actually kind of place on top of the rugs. So I was very glad that that worked out. Now I'm just going over the whole scope of it and making sure everything looks the way that I want it to. I'm moving my cocoa bean trees over to the other side. I'm going to use those in my Simba and Nala build. For this side of Scar's house, I'm going to move my rocks around a little bit, and then I'm going to start adding a few more trees into this build. Bringing that pathing along all the way around to the other side, meeting the stone bridge. Now I'm just going a little willy-nilly with my pathing here. I didn't want it to be too symmetrical, so. I'm bringing in some of the dune cactus trees. I like these trees, even though they're on an Eternity Isle, they're over in the desert island. I believe these trees fit this build so well. I'm gonna bring in some more of those meadow trees, the mossy covered meadow trees, just to give this a little more coverage and make it look more filled in and overgrown. And as you can see, the build is complete. When you're doing your islands and you're decorating, pause every few minutes and save, because if you don't, then you're gonna have to load everything in like this is, and it takes a lot of time. I had so much fun building over here on the Sunlit Plateau for Scar. He's one of my favorite villains in the Disney universe, and I'm just waiting for them to bring in more. And here I'm giving you a walkthrough of what the build looks like.
I love rainy days.
Walking up to Scar's door, you can see it's very filled in, but not too filled in, and it looks so natural and it fits the vibe. I'm going to take you over to the pond area so you can see how that build looks. And it looks like water. Everything is covered, edges is covered. Everything looks so natural. And I left a little bit of space in there so you can walk on those rugs and get through there if you need be. Oh, what's going on, Sully? And that is my build for today in the Sunlit Plateau. Thank you for joining my video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will be uploading more Disney Dreamlight Valley builds and walkthroughs and playthroughs. Thank you.
Kids grow up so quick. Kids grow up so quick.